Nice, no? Ram meditation. Good. So we'll go back and start from the 33rd verse. Yeah, 33rd verse. Arjuna Uvacha Yoyam Yogatsvaya Proktaha Samyena Madhusudana Etasyaham na pashyami chanchalatvastitim Tiram Chanchalam himana Krishna Pramati Balavadridam Tasmaham Nigraham Manye Vayoriva Sudushkaram Shri Bhagavanuvacha Asamshayam Mahabaho Mano Durnigraham Phalam Durnigraham Chalam Abhyasena tu Kaunteya Vairagyena cha Grihyate असंयतात्मना योगो दुष्पाप इति मे मतिः पश्यात्मना तु यतता शक्यो वाप्तु उपायतः. So we discussed last week Arjuna words after hearing a lot from Lord Krishna. I have some basic doubts. The basic doubts were, all of these things that you're talking about, keeping my mind under control, that how to keep this continuity of all the practices, and the fact that you said, keep the mind still like that lamp which is still, all that is very difficult to do. And so Krishna basically answered, a couple of stanzas. He said, yes, mind is difficult to handle, but with practice it is possible. And then the other thing it requires is what's called as dispassion. So I just thought, we understand this word dispassion a lot, right? Vairagya, we say. So what is dispassion if you put it in layman's terms, right? Why it's about it's letting go of things that we have, isn't it? Just letting go is really the simple way to put vairagya. So we normally hold on to certain things in our mind, and then we also hold on to things that we want to pursue, want to accomplish, this, that, everything. A lot of things are loaded. And that loaded part of it makes us sometimes not be able to settle down, right? Mind is restless. And what is the recipe for a good meditation, as we learned before? Is mind is rested. Mind is not all over the place when you sit for meditation. So to accomplish that, one is practice, as Krishna is clearly saying, but the other aspect is to mind that keeps steady, which requires us to follow this dispassion practice, letting go. I thought a couple of things if we understand, right? Also from another angle, from a Vedantic angle, in Bhajagovindam, there is a reference to which Adi Shankaracharya has written. He gives a very powerful stanzas about limitations of worldly things in life. So he goes on to say, okay, for example, limitation. What are some of the limitations? Worldly knowledge. They are limited. It's not to say that they are not important. Worldly knowledge is limited. It serves its purpose. But after some time, you see its value has come down, right? Maybe till you work and then you retire, it goes on. Similarly, wealth, whether it be wealth in the form of money or wealth in the form of talent, right? It is useful, but it just comes and goes. Some talent, you tend to have it at the beginning, like music or art, but as you age, you're not able to sing the same way, you're not able to perform the same way, it comes down. And then, what is the other one? Even relationships. Relationships also, right? We think we are with the family forever. Is it? Right? After some time, if it's a daughter, she goes to the other house. Son goes to independently, pursue something. After marriage, it is basically you're on your own, they are on their own. And then what about pleasures? worldly pleasures. We know, right? Worldly pleasures come and go, right? For a moment, yeah, it's very nice, but they come and go. And so the overall existence, even, yeah, the other aspect of it is worldly thing is fame, right? Somebody appreciates you, somebody gave you a reward. All of that, how long does it last, right? Only that thing lasts only the next time you get a criticism, all that fame, etc., vanishes from your mind. And then, so it is like this, right? What should the existence be like? The existence should be like the way, it was there earlier in one of the stanzas, where the water drop is sitting on a lotus leaf. It is not attached. It's there and yet it's not there. So I live with all my pleasures, with all my family, with all the love, etc., everything there. But to the extent that I know that all of this is temporary. That is why when somebody leaves, you don't get caught on, oh, somebody said, oh, what should I do? It's not good, etc., etc. Bound to happen. So come to realization that certain things are going to happen. So the more we are in this aspect of dispassion, less botherations come. And when there are less botherations, mind is calmer and you're able to meditate. So that is the way to understand these two stanzas that Sri Bhagavan is talking about, wherein he stresses these things. Abhyasa, we talked about that, practice, practice, practice. But having said this, Arjuna still has more questions. So that's where we will start with 37th stanza. Arjuna vacha ayati shuddhayopeyo yoga chalitamanasaha अप्राप्य योग संसिद्धिं कां गतिं कृष्ण गच्छति कच्चिन्नो भयविभ्रष्टः छिन्नाभ्रमिव नश्यति अप्रतिष्ठो महाबाहो विमूढो ब्रह्मणपति एतन्मे संशय कृष्ण चेत चेतमर्हस्य शेषतः संशयस्यास्य चेता न ह्युपपद्यते श्रीभगवानुवाच पार्थनेवैह नामुत्र विनाशस्तस्य विद्यते न हि कल्याणकृत् कच्छित् दुर्गतिं तात गच्छति. So the question that always comes up, right? We have to practice. So the obvious question that Krishna comes up with this is this, right? Let's say that I have Shraddha. I have faith in this thing. I believe what meditation has to be done. But reality is, what? I am not able to do this passion that you're talking about. I find it difficult. Or I'm not able to put the effort that is needed. I am committed to doing it, but there are a lot of other things that are there that is preventing me from doing this daily practice. So the question that Arjuna says is, given this scenario, what happens to a person like that who is not able to give his 100% or who's still got a distracted mind, still has got a lot of things loaded in the head? What happens to all that effort? Does it go for a waste? So he tells Krishna, you're the only person who can explain this. Please, this is bothering me a lot, because if I'm going to put the effort and at the end of this janma I leave and I die, what happens to it? Does it all go for a waste? Valid question, right? Everybody will have that in their mind. And that's what Krishna is going to elaborate on starting from the 40th verse. So the 40th verse, he says very clearly, neither in this world nor the other world. What that other world we'll talk about a little bit. Does any destruction of your learnings happen? That means if you put in effort to learn something, if you have effort to put in sadhana, you've cleansed yourself, but not completely. You're still having, things, in your head that are bothering you. All of that, none of it is, Nothing goes for a waste. It's a simple cause-effect relationship. If you have put in effort, you will get the results for it, right? It is so when you go to the other world that we will talk about, nothing is going to get wasted. So don't worry. You just do your part to the best extent possible. That's what we, right? You tell the child, right? For example, if somebody is studying for exams, you do your best. Okay, you do your best and you got only 80 out of 100. Still, that 80 out of 100 will teach you something. When you do the next time, you'll do more, better, right? So here this in this world, nor in the other world. What is the other world? Other world is after you die. So in this world means what? During the time I'm living. Let's say that, I started my practices a bit earlier, in my mid age, but, somewhere in between, I'm not able to continue with it as much as possible. Hmm? Still, you are not, nothing is lost. You continue with it. So therefore, what is the thing? The whatever thing you do today is the cost for what you're going to experience next. It's a similar karma yoga concept, right? Cause and effect. The effect you cannot let it go, right? It will happen. So whatever you deserve for whatever you have done, you will get it. So we build on that in the 41st and 42nd stanza, which we will chant now. 41st stanza. प्राप्य पुण्यकृतां लोकान् क्षिप्वा शाश्वती समाः शुचीनां श्रीमतां गेहे योगभ्रष्टोऽभिजायते अथवा योगिनामेव कुले भवति धीमताम् एतद्विदुर्लभतरम् लोके जन्म यदीदृशम्. So now what happens in the other world? What happens to the person after death is what is referred to here in these stanzas. He says that whatever you have, basically the way to look at death, maybe we'll touch upon that a little bit. Death is always considered like this, right? You would have heard this. So death is like a long sleep. Long sleep. We go to sleep maybe for 6 or 7 hours or whatever, and then we get up in the morning and we start from where we left. And what is said about, the last thought that you had before you go to sleep, which is based upon impressions that is there in your subconscious mind, is the first thought that you start with the next day morning. Always the case. So there's almost a continuity. It's just that in between your body took rest. The death is exactly the same. Death is exactly a longer duration of sleep. That's the way to look at it. How long depends on the person, but it's a long sleep. But it is just that instead of getting up in the same body that you got up in a normal sleep, you get up in a newer body. Maybe the gender has changed, the family has changed, the place has changed, all that might have changed. But as a personality, as a person with impressions, you still carry the same impressions that you had before, right? And so whatever, talents you had or whatever dharma you have done or practices you have done or knowledge you have gained in terms of spiritual knowledge, still you carry it into your next dharma. Just like sleep. Next day morning, it's not that suddenly we forget, right? We remember everything. We continue to do that. So that is what he's saying here, is that all these, now what worlds, when you say the worlds, that world has a lot of meaning. It gets discussed in a later chapter also, so I'll not go into it a lot here. For now, just understand that there are, all of these worlds are all worlds that exist right here. It is not some superfluous world in the heavens. Everything is a set of vibrations, set of energy. And those worlds are all existing, right? Nothing. It is just that we are not able to visualize it because it is beyond our comprehension. But let's just for now assume that world as it is, right? Wherever that world might be, right? We go into that world, leaving the body in a soul, in the form of a soul, still carrying what all those punya, papa, impressions, everything. So the normal question that gets asked is, if punya, what happens to that? It is said that, it is said that in multiple scriptures about, in the place wherever you go to, you enjoy with that punya. I don't know how you don't ask me how do you enjoy there. They get you to enjoy, right? You're given all the pleasures that are required to fulfill, based on the fact that you've done so much of punya. But once you've exhausted that punya, you are bound to come back to back to a new body, new place, etc., etc. This is given. So sometimes, it is said that when you go to another world or heaven, whatever you call it is like going on a vacation. See, when you and I go on a vacation, right? What do? We carry with us, today there's a credit card, maybe there's a GPay, but something in our pocket, or in your wallet is the budget for that particular vacation, isn't it? Right? And we say that, so until that, so the punya, which is in the form of cash or credit card or GPay, is in your pocket. And you exhaust all of it, time to go back from vacation back to your house. Is it? Same thing is going to another, it goes going to another, world after that. You come back. And what happens is that the soul, this is again a secret. Guruji has said this. You go back into that soul finds an appropriate family or circumstances or place which is congenial for furtherment of the learning from the previous chapter. So let's say I've been very spiritual. I have done a lot of practices, but it's still lot more to be untapped. I'm not yet completely cleansed myself. You go into a place or a family, which a family could be already spiritual in nature, both mother and father. So it is very easy for that child then to just jump in and start. Or even if the mother and father are not spiritual, the child on his or her own, you know, moves in this without anything because it forces it. The divine enables that to happen. So, so it is. That's the reason you see, right? Sometimes you'll see, some divine people who are being born in people who are already very religious or very spiritual in nature, and they grow up. If you look at some of the people, sages and saints, you'll see that. So here one can be born. So basically, what is he saying to an answer to Krishna to Arjuna's question? That whatever you have done here, you will carry forward, and in the next janma, you will go even deeper. Because everybody's ultimate goal, whether they know it or not, is to realize. The question is, when do they come to that realization? I have to do it. I don't need to wait for 10 janmas. Can I accomplish it now? The sooner they realize it, the more effort they'll put in. If I don't even realize that I'm going to it, then I'll keep on doing, run of the mill kind of a thing every janma and carry with me. And it's an endless pursuit of birth, death, birth, death, birth, death. So those of us who are in the spiritual path, we know that there is an end goal. We don't know exactly what it is, where it is, when we're going to get there. But the fact that we have started the path, it will end in some point, right? So, and what divine enables us to do is things just happen. You're put into circumstances where you learn. Your guru comes to you when because you're ready for it, or you live in a place in a family where there is a support for it. You just think now all the things, right? For husband wife or a family that supports it, or a wife to be able to further what she wants to do, in her spiritual life. There has to be support, isn't it? So unless there is support, it's not very comfortable. So all of these circumstances, the thing, it is given to you. It happens. Hmm. And so once you're in a conducive environment, etc., these efforts that you've tried for doing in the previous janma, you just simply carry it forward. And this does, by the way, this applies also to everything, right? Music. You see child prodigies or sports, um, science. You, you get a PhD. You must have seen it. There was one child got a PhD degree at the age of 17. 17 PhD degree, right, in the US. So how does that happen? It's not like, he had that superior talent. Somewhere he was carrying forward things that, from his previous thing that, enabled him to go there. So, so therefore spirituality is something we continue to put our stress on. There is a word here, if you see here, yoga brashto, yeah, the 43rd verse you see here. Yeah. So if you see here, Shabda Brahma Ativartate, there is a stanza that comes here. What that means, he says that once you go to the next janma, you will at some definitely reach Brahma at some point or the other, and even beyond. Now the question is, right, so therefore he's giving that hope to Arjuna here and to us as all as devotees or seekers that we stay steadfast in the spiritual path. That's the main message that we have to take from here. So when we look at this whole path, right, from the beginning, let's look at ourselves, right? We've all progressed in a stage, and yeah, we have ways to go. But early seekers, what do they do? They follow the karma yoga path. They do service, etc., etc. And as they do the service, they realize that there is something that is propelling, making things happen out of somewhere, right? There is a curiosity factor that comes in, right? They may do this by just doing religious work. They may not be even aware of spirituality, but somewhere there is a feeling that there is some help coming from somewhere, and I need to know about it. And so either through the help of the family, guru, or a teacher, right? They start spending time in this one. So as they do it, they also look at God as a vehicle to get things done. There are still people even today, right? If I want my business to grow, you'll go to an astrologer. An astrologer will say, do this 5 different rituals, go to the temple, etc. And you'll be awarded. And of course, the Vedas say it is tatastu, you will accomplish it. So what happens there? That interest is in more in terms of accomplishing my personal need, and God is a conduit for making that happen. So even there is a seeker, right? The person who's doing that still realize that there is a seeker whose blessings I need to make it happen. Still a good thing. But the focus of that person is not more on the creation rather than the creator. Creator means what? Knowing more about that. Creation means what? How do I get this business? How do I get that other house? How do I get this thing, etc., etc. And as slowly you get, then you go into, wanting to know more. That's where knowledge comes into the picture. Jnana Khanda, as they call it, Vedanta, Upanishads, going to gurus, right? And all of this starts. Now, if you notice, right, in this whole, and then of course you finally reach that ultimate state. You look at sages. Um, for example, Swami Chinmayananda, this, right? He was an atheist. He grew up as a journalist, and he was a hardcore atheist. He just didn't believe. But somewhere, as they say, circumstances come into the picture that changes a person, right? So obviously inside he was, very knowledgeable, but outside that atheist, but what does it do? It just made him, not believe in anything. But he was forced to go to one of the ashrams, Swami Shivananda's ashram in in the Himalayas, and then saw that a spiritual guru there was actually doing a lot of physical work, and he was very happy. So something, made him think, what is this all about, right? Is my understanding right in this whole thing? And of course, slowly, he was given Bhiksha, and then he was told to go to another guru, Swami Tapovan, and then he was realized, etc. And then he took that, knowledge and conveyed it to all the world, right, in terms of Bhagavad Gita teachings and so forth. So, but what I'm saying is that, right, the circumstances, you might be starting off as an atheist or as a person who's already learned it from, then start from there. But circumstances made sure that if you have been in the path before, there is no way you will not progress in the next janma. That is what he's saying. There's no way because there is that is the way the Ishvara pulls you, the Guru pulls you. Make sure that you're not sitting there, right? Circumstances are given, sometimes even hard circumstances that make you learn. So, so that's what he's stressing in all of these verses is that you just do your thing. I will take care of the other thing. So he didn't say I will take care of it, but that's what it is, right? A guru says it very clearly. I'm there to take care of all of these things for you. So therefore, the efforts that come in, the next janma automatically, then we go to the 46th verse now. Tapasvibhi- tap- Tapasvibhyodiko yogi ज्ञानिभ्योऽपि ज्ञानिभ्योऽपि मतोऽधिकः की भवार्जुन. Going.
We
So
can't
he
hear
refers
you.
to a yogi. Can't hear me?
No, just
Wait a second.
now it's fine. For a 30 seconds, it's like yeah,
Yeah.
can hear you.
Yeah. So yogi, the word yogi, the word, if you see the word tapasvibhyodiko yogi, the word yogi here means a yogi who's mastered meditation, who's a, deep meditator. So here he says a yogi is superior to a person who's just who's a austere person, austerity, or a person who knows Shastras very well. There are some people, who know exact lot of, they've read about 10 Upanishads, they have read this Grantha, that Grantha, a lot of theoretical, conceptual knowledge is there, but not, practical knowledge. So, if you go back to if you go back and understand, right, remember we've talked about this thing, right? Shavanam, Mananam, Didithyasanam, Vibha. Shavanam means I listen. Mananam means I contemplate or I not contemplate. I just do introspection, ask questions, relate that knowledge to my life, etc., and then clarify doubts. And then Nidithyasanam is integrating it into my life. It becomes like a wisdom. So meditation is exactly like that Nidhyasana. So for a knowledge to get integrated into yourself, so that for you it is not about I know this, I live it, I live that knowledge. It's not that I say something and I do something else, right? I live that thing. So somebody who's living it meditation is because the knowledge has sunk in. So that's the reason he says a yogi is superior to a person who is a pandita on multiple things. He might be very good in knowledge. And then people who do tapas, he says, definitely this yogi is much more superior, or because sometimes these tapas we tend to suppress certain things. Let's say I'm going to fast for another 1 week, 10 days, or I'm going to shut my mouth for the next 10 days. How well am I shutting my mouth? How well am I in mauna matters, right? Not shutting my mouth. So it comes down to the intent of those things, how much you're able to go. The more you're in the knowledge, the better the experience of maunam, austere practice happen. In itself, it is good, but it's also got its limitations if you're not in the knowledge. That's what he's referring to here. And of course, yogi is superior to the karma yoga person, a person who does a lot of action, service, etc. All of that. Because, a yogi has experience or has a touch of experience of that bliss of that entity, even for a period of time. And he has tasted that, deep happiness, which none of the other people have done. That's the reason that superiority comes in. So somebody who does a lot of ritualistic practices, or selfless service, very, very good. See, again, we have to realize all of these are vehicles and means. They are not an end in itself. Even meditation is not an end in itself. Meditation is one pathway. It takes you there, very close to that. So therefore, a person who's the best yogi, somebody who meditates very clearly, no question about it. Whether that form is, a saguna form, looking at a form-based meditation, or a formless-based meditation. Somebody who's able to, just, not be looking at any forms, but think about the ultimate, as an energy principle, as a quantum theory principle, as they refer to. So those kind of things. So that's what he's saying here. So that's what why is he giving all of this? He's asking us to aspire for that. He does say that, follow these other things, but remember that there is a long path there, and make sure that that path continues. Okay. I mean, we've almost come to the end of this chapter, 47th stanza. योगिनामपि सर्वेषां मद्गते नान्तरात्मना यद्भावान् भजते यो मां तमे युक्ततमो मतः. So yeah, finally he says that yogi, based on the yogi that he referred to here earlier, who's full of shraddha. Yeah, yoginamapi sarvesham madgate nantaratmana, with full shraddha, right? And he worships me. For him, his single goal in life is to reach me. He is very, very special to me. He is the most devout devotee. That's what he's saying. So that brings, and this particular topic that we just talked about, certain things, even the death topic, and then here when he says the word full of faith with his mind immersed in me, what is that immersed in me is devotion. So there is a chapter which is 12th chapter, which is only devotion chapter. So like a lot of these putting seeds for that, what's coming up next. Okay. So I'll chant the last verse and then we will just Om Tat Saditi Srimad-Bhagavad-Gītāsu Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Dhyana Yogo Nama Shashtodhyayaha. So let's do two things. I know we are just a couple of us here. Whatever we picked up today, and then maybe also let's just brush up, whatever we remember. I'm sure there's something we remember about this chapter, right? Chapter 6. some key takeaways from this chapter, if there are any. You don't have to look at your notes. You can just even whatever comes to your mind, just talk it out. So let's talk about today's thing. Any thoughts?
कल्पा जी आप बताइए.
I think this whole chapter is about how to go into meditation. Right from the controlling the body, I mean, making a proper atmosphere, and then finding a proper seat, and then controlling the mind, and then more focused. That's what he was telling. And then, but then mind is always like a monkey. We always think of, it's always attracted to what do you call disturbances about our own life happening. So it's always, it's okay, but we have to bring it back to we have to again focus back. So meditation is not that in one go we are going to get it. It is going to be practiced day in and day after. So that's what he says. But then these practices will not go waste, which we also see that we have not come to the stage of reading Bhagavad Gita just like that. I think over a period of time, doing so much, I don't know, whatever practices we are doing, somehow we have got the opportunity to come to this class and do the Gita lessons. So it is not that it happened to us just like one day. I think it's a process that has happened, and so we have been in the process, and we are now lucky to be in the process. So this process tells us that again, whatever we do now, still the mind has got a lot of what do you call on and off, because we are in the what do you call family world, or even the what's happening around us in the world. Mana chanchala will keep happening, but if we can, that is, focus our thoughts on that supreme, that self, and that spark which is in us, if we can unite with that supreme, that is the ultimate. Even if we can't get that in this birth, there is always a chance for us to pursue it in the next birth, where we will be born in a family or surroundings where we can continue our process. So life after life, maybe it's a practice. That's what may be happening to us now in this life. We have got this opportunity to do this, whether we reach the final stage or we'll take next birth. Anyway, it is up to us, and God's blessing, I think. I don't know. Is it right?
Yeah, today
That's very nice.
what I understood is like about the detachment. So every day we will be attached to so many things, so many people, so many emotions, and every moment is like we go through some attachment. So detachment is very necessary to keep our mind peacefully. So to enter into the another stage, definitely detachment is very much necessary. So to get involved in some work or any other thing, so the previous thing we have to get detached and then move on. And another thing is the karma, that is like whatever we can, that is we have to give our 100%. So whatever we deserve, definitely it will come to us. So always just believe in ourselves, that is that supreme power, and then just give your 100%. So that is what I understood. And the impressions what we create every moment, so definitely it will be carried to the next birth. And the thinking about the ultimate, that itself make us more confident, and it will carry ourselves through that devotion. Believing in supreme power, it will, that is, I think that itself is a devotion, no? Ramesh ji?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Devotion is just the love, right? Just the
Yeah.
inherent love that we have, which is so deeply embedded, and translate that into towards the divine. That's about it. We put our
Yeah.
love into a lot of other things. If we put that love directed towards the divine, that's all that we say, right?
Yeah.
Devoted to work, right? Veenaji, I know you're so devoted to your teaching work. So we are all devoted in some ways or the other to things, right? Can that devotion also go a little bit towards that higher nature in us? That's all there is to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, sometimes what happens through this meditation, all this knowledge, slowly we feel like usually that supreme, that the higher consciousness, it is in ourselves only, and we start loving ourselves. So that,
Yeah.
yeah,
It
Yeah,
just,
I think
it is amazing, in the way things are, take, it gets steered in that direction, right? Even without our knowledge, suddenly you realize that, I'm in a better shape than what I was earlier. How did that happen,
yeah,
right? Because somewhere all this knowledge sinks in and one at a time. Yeah, please continue. Yeah.
yeah. When we start loving ourselves, that the energy inside us, so the outer things, it will not affect us. So just we feel like, yeah, like it will not touch our that inner consciousness. So it will be easy to go forward.
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah, practice.
And even after, yeah,
Tell.
Kalpaji,
You're good. You're saying
Continue,
something.
continue,
Even
continue.
after?
You continue.
yeah, this after this listening to Bhagavad Gita and meditation, after coming to this path, so I find lot of difference in teaching also. While teaching,
Hmm.
the way of looking at the students, everything is so different. I feel like it is very easy to connect with the students.
So tell me,
So I
how does
have
it work?
experience.
What makes you think, in what ways you see it different and how do they perceive it?
Yeah, I don't know why. So many times I feel like, yeah, everybody is same. I'm talking to my children, my own kids. So I don't differentiate them. So easy to connect, and they'll also very easily, and that connection happens very easily. I don't look at that they are different. They are different children. Uh, I'm not bothered. So if they want to learn, let them learn. Not like that. That connection is more intense now.
Hmm. So
Yeah,
that,
and I'm
so
enjoying
that,
teaching after coming to this path.
yeah,
Nice.
very true, very true. Because the fact that when you connect, no, and when you see there is an equilibrium on both sides, right? Equanimity kind of a thing, automatically you start enjoying it, right? The problem is only for us is when there is a, disconnect or, somebody says something, you get hurt, etc. All of
Yeah.
that stuff. And those things come down. You
Yes.
start loving life. That's
Yeah.
what that's what Guruji is saying, that all Guru says that when you're on the spiritual path, you start really enjoying life the way it is.
Yeah. True. True.
What
True.
we think of enjoying life is
Yes.
very different than what a normal average person outside would say enjoying life. Enjoying life would be going to a movie, going to this, that, etc. Here, enjoying
Yeah.
meaning in the relationship I can enjoy. Even in the hardest of circumstances, I can be settled. I'm not too, impacted by that. That is really the enjoyment. You really
Yeah.
gave that example is very nice, energy. And that's the way we should see this, right? Is what is it doing to
Yeah.
my day-to-day life?
Yes.
How is it? How is it for you? For example, when you deal with your daughters or your husband, etc. I'm just asking, do you see any difference compared to what it was earlier?
Yeah. Definitely. Especially with my mother-in-law. Initial after
Hmm.
marriage, the yeah, both of us are very different personalities. She Now I don't find anything, she was like more aggressive and all. So it was very difficult for me to handle. So now I don't find any difficulty. Like, yeah, even she scores, I don't get angry or it doesn't hurt me.
Wow, very
So,
nice. That's beautiful. That is
yeah, and
really
even
that.
in college, yeah, I find so much difference. My colleagues, if something happens, that will be like lot of chaos. They'll start discussing this, that.
I was going to ask you that question. You see the world, right, they all get so depressed, right? Oh, why is this happening? Why is this happening? And they'll be, it's like a khichdi happening in their head, right? With all
Yeah,
worldly things that
all
are
the time.
happening.
Yeah, small, small things.
And
Yes.
you sort of realize that it is happening, but there is a method to this whole thing, right? I can't really, because there is a divine at play in all the things that are happening in the world, right? You and I cannot
Yeah.
justify or be the replay. We cannot reason it out. So we let it happen, right? It's not to say that we condone it or we are insensitive to it, but being too hyper about it also it doesn't solve anything.
Yeah, no, I understand Guruji why he says bring the people to this path. So if everybody feels the same, then it will be so beautiful. The world will be like,
True.
yeah, but difficult to bring. Even in my staff room, I'll be telling like all these classes, everything I join, all these classes and all. But still, sometimes it is difficult to convince them to bring to this path. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to do anything because everybody is in a different, as they say, progression in life, wherever they are. It's
Yeah.
only when time comes.
I think when we are ready, only it comes
As
into.
as Kalpaji was saying, see the fact that we all started this journey in this particular class, what 5 months back, 6 months back, etc. Right? It was why couldn't have started earlier? Clearly, the divine was clear that this was only time. We were ready for it to only start now,
Yeah.
right? So we cannot therefore say why did I not start in the art of living earlier? Why didn't I find a guru earlier? We can debate and debate and debate, but the fact that you're here itself that's what we should appreciate, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So
I think right from childhood, I had experienced this. And no, I think when I was, quite very young, maybe 5, 6 years old, maybe, Mahaperiva, that is Kanchi Mahaperiva, he used to be, I was born in Chennai, Mylapore. So he used to stay in a Sanskrit college. There was a Sanskrit college. Whenever he comes to Chennai, he will stay there only. Then he go via our house to, there was a very old temple. One is Amman temple, Mundakaniamman temple. Another one is this thing, Madhava Perumal. That Madhava Perumal, that tank, that lotus only, I believe Sri Lakshmi was born. That there was ashram of Brahmuni. That I came to know now. But he used to go to that, they call it pond, kolam, to take bath. So when he'll go, I think maybe 3:30, 4 a.m. or something like that, much early. So when he goes for bath, they will knock on all our doors. So we all used to get quickly and then take bath and come and wait for his return path, where he used to give us blessings, Pada Namaskaram and like that. I remember that so vividly even now, how blessed we were to. And then his
absolutely, absolutely,
his look, his eyes, and then that what do you call that full vibhuti, tulsi malai, saffron. So I mean, from that time though, that I don't know, the spark, the mind, and after that, so many I don't know, even Chinmayananda I have met, Satya Sai Baba I have met. I have worked on projects where I felt he was holding my hand for it because it was a very very bigger cause. And similarly, Ramakrishna Paramamsa, he was holding my hand for another NGO where, I mean, these are all, I never, what do you call, I, I never seeked all this, but all this came into my life. But if
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
looking back, I couldn't have done this at all. I think it was a divine hand that took me through all this. And I worked with so many, the women, children like that, all through. I mean, looking back, I mean, it is impossible. Then
Yeah, yeah.
during pandemic only, we were all constrained to the houses. Then first Bhagavad Gita came into my life. I finished about in 9 months with another person. After that, then I felt so good about it. But then my niece was going through a very, very tough time in life. Then I told her, why don't we do it together? But she's in London and she can't understand this, Sanskrit. So then I got this book by Krishna Ashram by Ramanandaji. Then I got 3 volumes and sent it to her. So she started reading, and I think when she did second, third, fourth chapter, she said, "My God." She said, "I know the meaning of my life. I don't know. I can understand really why so many things happen." And she became really, totally, she could take it. After that, with some of my friends, I'm doing on Thursdays. Same book I made them buy. So we go verbatim in that book. They also, some of them are actually, what do you call, corporate. Well, one lady is a corporate trainer. She said, I cannot miss this class. Whatever, wherever she'd say, no, she will make that time available. On Thursdays, we meet morning 12 to 1. She said, I can't miss this because she said, it has changed her, what do you call, approach to her clients. She says how she's able to apply it. It's so powerful, and doing
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is again at a different level. Each thing is opening up at a different level. So now, actually, when I was doing Bhagavad Gita, two of my maids, especially actually both are become young widows. One of them, she said, Amma, you are doing Bhagavad Gita, I also want to do. Then,
Wow.
yeah. So then I said, okay. I mean, then she said she can read Kannada. So immediately I looked and then I ordered the book for her. She said, it's so nice. I'm not able to keep it down. Then other lady also said, Amma, I also want. So she also, both of them, see, I mean, I really appreciate them, They're all
Yeah.
gone through,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
gone through so much, but they find the solace, and I'm so appreciative. No, I think 10 days back, my daughter said, I'm ready to go through Bhagavad Gita. So I have ordered the book. I told her, I will get you one set. Then, because again, I have to read it, keep reading his book, because every page, every sentence makes so much of depth and meaning, So I said, I have ordered for
Correct.
you, will come. So it is, I mean,
Wonderful.
such a beautiful journey. I would, I don't know. I can't explain the joy of doing this. That's it. I think sometimes I feel we are blessed. Even I mean, see, I don't go for any. I mean, I'm not what do you call joined any organization like Satya Sai Baba. I said, I mean, he was holding my hand, but I'm not like a devotee there. Not Chinmaya, nor I mean, I don't know. Even actually the lady who taught me, she's from what is that, he's I think Ganapati Sachinathan Saraswati Swami, Mysore. I have heard about him. I always thought, some meeting will be nice. And so when she completed, she said, you have to meet my guru. I said, how is it possible? He's in Mysore. But you won't believe, he came to Bangalore just one afternoon to open one, what is it, Anjaneya temple. And then Kandrishti Anjaneya. She somehow made it possible and dragged me and took me in front of him and told him she completed Bhagavad Gita. And he said he blessed. So these things, when it happens, I mean, you can't explain it, isn't it?
Yeah,
True.
yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Thanks,
So,
thanks. Yeah, very nice sharing all this stuff, right? We learn
yeah,
a lot.
I mean, the journey has been so nice, and I think, anyway, I'm just enjoying it. That's what I would say. And each class brings more light into it. Very nice feeling. So, altogether, then peace, a lot of peace. Anyway, maybe
Yeah.
long way to go,
I
but that
bet.
matter. We can
Yeah, yeah,
wait.
no, but we are all in it, right?
Mm.
Deep into it. It's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
The heart is in it. That's the key thing, right? In all of this. Yeah.
Yeah, it is like I mean, nothing affects so much. Okay, we are all in the journey, and then and everybody's journey is different. We can't do yeah, help others, but then we can't help beyond. It is their journey. Let them face it. Let them learn it. We can't force
Yep. Yep.
anybody into it. But
Yeah.
as she said, the maturity in us is increasing, that we don't get affected by that, and also we can give appropriate suggestions. If they want to take it, it is fine. So that's also there, giving approach. I mean, you're able to, that is, detach ourselves and think for
Yep.
others.
Okay, whether it's taken, etc., is a different thing.
Huh?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Yeah, let's
Thank you
close
so
for
much.
today. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritangamaya Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Take care. Sorry, see you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Rameshji. Thank you, Kalpaji.
Thank you to you. What is the subject you're teaching?
Biology.
Wow. Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
I'm far from it, but anyway. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Which college?